Okay, pandemic update, COVID-19 pandemic update for today, Monday, 14 November 2022. So yesterday I revisited the idea of running for money, and I'm not that fast enough to be making money currently. However, I do have personal best times, and like my mile time, which is 4 minutes and 47 seconds. I am a woman, so that's pretty good for a woman. It's not like international world level. It's not very good, but for where I am in the competitions available to me, it's a competitive time. It would to win consistently and make money off of it, I need to improve. Now, my mile time of 4 minutes and 47 seconds is from 2021, so last year. And so I know I can still get faster. Before that, my personal best time was 4 minutes and 56 seconds from 2012. So as an athlete gets older, in running, it's kind of the norm is to get better, especially as a woman in like middle distance, they continue to get faster into their at least late 30s and early 40s, potentially even longer, but most people start their career young. And I'm approximately 30 years old, so plus or minus, or approximately 30. And so there's a bit of, could that actually translate forward to a longer career where instead, like getting going at this age, I could run to 60 and still get faster. It's just, it really requires body maintenance and persistence, and there are really fast runners who are 50 and 60. A lot of them start running when they're and competing when they're like 10 years old or younger. A lot of the people I knew started younger than that. I started on my own, so I didn't run with a coach or a team or for a school team until freshman year of high school, which is 2007, and I started running in 2006. So I got some which was a really great idea. I'm a non-affiliated runner, which means I don't have a club, I don't have a coach. Technically my coach is me, and that's worked wonders for me. Versus with swimming, I kind of slowed down and plateaued. So it's kind of like if I had been my own coach, maybe I would have been faster, but that's just not how life worked for me. Quote unquote, God gave, or Allah gave me running instead. And so what would I need to get faster? Well, it sounds so stupid, but it is a ever-pressing concern. I am a geologist, physicist, and mathematician. Those are my degrees and my training and a fair amount of my work experience. I also have work experience in aquatics. I have a bunch of teaching experience. And so I don't want to lose that. So there's the dream of, I do like a 30-year vision of writing and publishing with a startup, Lucky Wallaby Courier with my soulmates, going back to school and getting some sort of degree in like mechanical and or material science engineering, kind of focusing on like airplane engines. That would be very cool. And like, I love creep, the concept of creep. Well, it's not a concept, it's a physical phenomena of creep in the failure and fracture of materials. I'm more interested in buckling as a failure mode. Although fracture is cool, but I worked on fracture more when I spent over 4 years in grad school at the University of California, Berkeley, and I did a fair amount of work on fracture, and I'm like, if I were to go back to school, it'd be cool to work on some buckling phenomenon. So that's mechanical behavior of materials. So those are like my two life stability modes, and then there's those can stabilize my running. I'm not an international debut as a junior, so that's long out of the picture, over a decade out of the picture. So for the competition scene these days, long out of the picture. So which tends to mean the people who debut later in life tend to, quote unquote, as I've heard it put, have a life. So they're stable outside of their sport, which is true for me. And So I don't want to lose that. I guess this is what I'm saying. And then add running in and stabilize running. I think structurally, so I could, how would I get faster? This is a 30-year vision. So I spent over a decade competing in swimming, and personal best times, I swam typically in what's called a dual meet. So it'd be my team versus another team. Like 98% of my personal best times I swam at dual meets. And those were something in the competition format I was in. We had dual meets, 1 or 2 dual meets every week, back to back to back during competition season. And that's very abnormal compared to like the elite level of swimming in the United States of America. That's far less frequent competition. So that's highly undesirable for me. So I would want, it's similar, and I'm talking about running, but I'm talking about what worked for me in swimming. Speaking from past experience, statistically, 98% of my personal best times came from Tuesday and Thursday every week during competition season, which doesn't happen at the collegiate level, it doesn't happen at the international level. Just things are not like that. Not like summer, or if they are, they copy summer league. So I was in summer league in high school swimming kind of thing. So multiple matches a week, multiple meets a week, and that would be running. So or just competitions a week. So maybe it's like an open competition. I'm saying, based on past experience, that would be something I need. That's not something that America really offers. So for me to get like really fast, I think would require a change of country, and more specifically, so not necessarily a change of country, but a change of competition scene, something that's not so limited in access to people like me. And there's the added, so I run the mile race. How long is a mile? So a mile is a metric unit, 5,280 feet. So like a metric, not as in metric system, but a mathematical metric, which is different than a metric system. And it's like a metric in the sense of it's a physical unit of measurement. And so there's a fixed definition. Science, technology, engineering, mathematics in most sports are in an ever-continuing battle where swimming, the sport of swimming, wants to change the distance to be shorter than it actually is. So they say 1,500 meters is a mile, when in reality it's over 1,600 meters. It's closer to 1,609 meters, and each meter is a little over 3 feet long. So the 1,600 in track and field is approximately 30 feet short of a mile. So, and the pool swimming race is hundreds of feet shorter, over 300 feet shorter than a mile, the 1,500. So, yeah. Swimming as a sport struggles with intelligence. But that's right? Donald Trump got elected. They might get their overturning of the definition of a mile changed. For me, a mile has been and is and always will be 5,280 feet. It's just a reality check. I choose to accept reality rather than push fantasy kind of thing, and I choose to respect science, which swimming as a sport does not. So there's not a fit there. So to get faster would require high frequency competition. It would require me training. And so that is the 30-year vision, is the stabilizing manufacturing in some sort of college degree to address the skills I need to do that. Lucky Wallaby career and running and getting faster and actually going for like a world record in my races, which is technically the 2 mile, the mile, the half mile, the quarter mile, the 8th mile, the 16th mile, that kind of thing. A 16th mile is like, okay, you get the point. I sprint too. I'm not just middle distance. I started off with sprinting. Just the miles like my forte kind of currently, which could change. So it'd be finding, so those are not the events raced at, for example, like the Olympic Games or World Championships. There, it requires me finding competitions to race those at. And if the popularity of those races increased again, perhaps they'd be added in. I would guess not, but like it just find the competitions that do offer the races I run. And so this like a 30-year vision, but the vision is not complete without the most important thing. And the thing that comes before all of that is living with my soulmates, living with my husbands. Okay, so I don't want to do that without them. Does that impede my ability or potential to run here for money while I'm living with my parents or something? Well, I've been losing weight, so that's one step in getting faster. Is my performance is highly weight dependent in running. I genuinely don't know. I think there's a bit of, I also like writing on Wikipedia. I like doing YouTube, and I like doing like Yelping. I'm a Yelper. I'm on Yelp, and so there's a bit of, I don't want to lose. If all three of those things are still around. There's my fifth ingredient to this 30-year vision. Maintaining and keeping up with Yelp, Wikipedia, and YouTube. And I really just want to move home, and then like I really just want to move in with my soulmates, and I can get a bit sensitive when it's like, well, why don't you do this instead? It's like, well, I've been doing this instead for approximately 30 years of my life, and I'm tired of it. I want to live with my soulmates. Number one, above everything else. Soulmate, 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 soulmates. Living with my soulmate, soulmate, soulmate. So I don't know. I think the reality of it is I am not there on my training for running and making money from it right now. So it's not ruling it out as a permanent no. It's just a, at this point in time, no, and I genuinely do not know. If or when I would get around to speeding up. But that's kind of some of the stuff I would need to go all in on the sport in my racing and stuff. And yeah. At least from my perspective right now, I've noticed with these videos I'm making, there's a bunch of dreams there, and then I'll like, as I'm talking through them and time is passing, I'm realizing, oh, maybe I don't want that one. Maybe this is my dream. So like, this is just today. This is a day video. So this is capturing what I feel or think I need today. So it could end up being vastly different. It could end up not happening. I don't know. But that's today. That's my pandemic.